Alright, we're going to be looking at this isometric drawing over here, and you can see that I have got basically a cube. Okay, it's got a length of 60, a width of 60, and a height of 60. Alright, you have got a right view, a front view, and a top view. I'm just going to start out by drawing some lines in over here just to try and get you to understand where I get information from. I draw a line coming across from that top view, I draw a line coming up over here from that right view, and I'm going to draw a 45-degree line going out like that. Right, you'll see that I have labeled, I've got that A, that's right down at the bottom. I've got this B, and I'm going to say that B is right up at the top over there, and I've got that C, which is right up at the top. I'm going to take that across over here from that C, and I'm going to drop that down over here, and you'll see that that C links up with a C at the top over there, and a B, which is at the top over there as well. There's my B coming across and over there. Right, quite important. Right, I'm going to start out and I'm going to say, all right, I've got an exact cube, and it says that the length is 60. I'm going to set a pair of compasses straight away to a length of, or a radius of 60. I'm going to come in over here and I'm going to just draw a construction line coming up over here from that point A, and I'm going to take my pair of compasses and I'm going to mark a center 60 millimeters going straight up. Note the height of this thing is 60, so from A going up there is 60. I'm going to take my pair of compasses to that point and I'm going to draw a circle coming around here, construction line circle. Once I've done that, I can then come in over here with the pair of compasses, just a little thing to show that this can be done quite easily. Put a little mark over there and over there. I'm going to just continue that construction line coming all the way up to the top, and I can take my pair of compasses still set at 60, mark that off over there, mark that off over there. If you didn't have instruments, you could draw this out quite easily, but with instruments it's a little bit more, a little bit easier. I'm going to draw a construction line coming down there, a construction line coming across over there, a construction going at 30 degrees. Note the 30-degree set square that I'm using. Construction line going up over there, just linking up those points. There we go. And coming in over here with that final 30 degree. Right, once I've done that, you'll see that if I draw a line coming across from there and a line coming across from there, I've got my external hexagon, line coming up, line going out at 30 degrees, and I have an isometric cube. Right, there is my point A on this thing. There is A down at the bottom. And we said that on my front view, note the front view, coming across from the A to the left-hand side and going up. There's my front view coming across from the A to the left-hand side and going up. That would be B over there. If I come over here to my right view, going across to the right-hand side and going up, going across to the right-hand side and going up, there would be C over there. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to draw a line coming straight across over here from B to C. There is that line going from B to C over there on my top view. And I'm then able to draw in a line coming across there and a line coming across there to the back corner over there. Right, once I've got that, I drop a line coming down over here. I drop a line coming down over there. Right, you can see the line coming down and a line coming down over there. Right, okay, over here it says that I go up by 20 millimeters. So I take my pair of dividers and I measure up 20 millimeters. And I can draw in a line coming from that point up to there. And I've got a line going across from there to there, and a line going across from there to there. Right, you'll see that I've got that corner over there, and that links up with a line that comes down from B and a line that comes down from C. So I'm going to link that up with a line that comes down from B and a line that comes down from C over here. And there is the completed isometric view of that cube that has that corner cut off. Okay, the next thing. we're going to have a look at this drawing over here. You'll see that I've already drawn a line coming down from the right view over here, a line coming across from that top view over there, and I have my 45-degree line coming up over there that I can take measurements across and drop them down into this. You'll see that I have got a length of 60 millimeters, and you can see that that length is the same at the back over there. I have got a height of 50 millimeters, and I've got a width of 40 millimeters. If I take that 40 and come down over here, you've still got that 40 millimeters width in over there. Right, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to find my point A. All right, there is point A, there is point A. Okay, you'll see that point A is actually not touching the object that we're going to be drawing. So just be aware of that. I'm going to take a line coming out at the 30 degrees over there, just a construction line, a line coming out at 30 degrees over there. That line I drew very, very dark. I'm just going to actually lighten that up a little bit. Okay, those are construction lines coming out there. I'm going to draw a line coming up from A over here, just a construction line over there, and I'm going to measure. It says that on my right view, there's my right view coming out from A, I must measure out 40 millimeters over there. Measuring 40 millimeters with my pair of dividers. Coming over here from A and make a little mark over there and draw a construction line going up from that point over there. I then say, all right, I've got 60 millimeters coming out from the A in that direction to the left. A going to the left, 60 millimeters, going to measure off 60 millimeters quickly. There we go, 60 millimeters over there, and I can draw a construction line going up there. Right, once I've got that, I then measure 50 millimeters coming up. There's 50 millimeters. Going to A over there, measure off 50 millimeters, and I can draw in a line going across there, a line going across there, a line going back over here, and a line going back over here, giving me what I like to call a fish tank. All right, there's the little block of material that I can cut this stuff out. Now you'll see over here, I've colored in this surface over here, all right, and it looks like a little L. If you link that up over here, you can see that corner over there links up with that corner over there. That corner over there links up with that corner over there, and that corner over there links up with that. And coming down 15 millimeters over here, I've got that, that line. I've just drawn that little line in at 45 degrees. I'll show you why I did that in a tick. Right, okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to measure that 40 millimeters coming back from the back. So I'm going to measure 40 millimeters over there. And I'll just make a little mark. And I'm going to draw a line going all the way up to the top there, just because I can. I'm going to measure 35 millimeters going up over there, measuring the 35 millimeters going up from there to there, right? And I'm going to draw a line coming across over here at 30 degrees, right? It says that I have got 15 millimeters coming down from there to there, and it says that I need to go 15 millimeters across there. I could take a pair of dividers and measure that off, but I can use a 30-degree set square to get that same measurement. Note the 45-degree line that I drew over there. 45 degrees on your isometric drawing is done with a 30-degree set square. So I've got 15 millimeters going up there, 15 millimeters going across there, and I can drop a line coming straight down from that point, right? Once I've done that, I need to figure out what this distance is over here. It says that it's 35 millimeters coming down. So I can measure 35 millimeters with a pair of dividers. I'm going to come in over here and I'm going to go from the very top of there, measuring down 35 millimeters, and I'm going to draw a line going back over there and a line going across over here, okay? And you can see that I've got this little L shape in here, which I can now draw in dark straight away because it's right at the front of the object. Line going across there, line going across there, and a line coming across over here, line coming down over here, a line coming down over there, and a line coming down over there. Right, once we've got that, I then come across. It says that I need to go across 10 millimeters over there. So I measure 10 millimeters, measure that off over here on that little 30-degree line coming out there, and I can now draw in a line going straight from the top of this thing down to there, line coming across over there. Okay, and you'll see that I now have two lines going into that corner. I'm now going to draw a line, a construction line coming across from there. Okay, what's that going to link up with? Well, you can see that I've got a line coming back over there. You see two lines going into that corner, so I can now draw in a line going back over there, giving me the three lines going into that corner. I've got two lines going into that corner, so I can draw in a line coming across over here. Right, okay, at this point, you've got to be very, very, very careful. I've got this one line coming up over here, and I need another two lines coming out of it. So the one line that I'm going to have is that one going all the way to the back corner. There it is, going all the way to the back corner. And the second line, I need to bring it across over here. Right. Note this, I've got two lines going into that corner, and I'm going to draw a line going up from there. Okay? It doesn't come down. If you look at this, I'm not going to have another line coming down over here because this is a flat surface. I'm going to then draw in a line coming across over there, and I can draw a line going straight the way back from that point to there, and I can draw in a line going from that corner to there. Right, once I've got that, I then say, okay, come across to the other side. Note this is at the same level over there, and it says that I need to measure 15 millimeters back. So I take my measurement of 15 millimeters, I'm going to come to that corner over there, measure that off, and I'm going to draw in a construction line coming across over there. Right. It says that I come forward 30 millimeters over there, so I'm going to measure 30 millimeters coming forward on this, 30 millimeters coming forward over there, and I'm going to draw in a line going straight across over there. I'm going to draw in a line going across over there. I'm going to draw in a construction line, line going across over there, and you can see how I've got that nice little top piece. There we go, and there we go. Right, there's that top piece. There is nothing stopping a line going all the way down to the ground over there. You can see, there it is, going all the way down to the ground, so I'm going to draw in a line coming all the way down to the ground over here, and all the way down to the ground over there. And I can draw in a line going across over there. Right, once I've done that, I'm going to come to this corner over here. It says that I've got two lines going into that corner, so I've got a construction line coming across over there, and I'm going to draw in a line coming across over there. You can see the two lines going into that corner, third line coming out, and I now have a line going over there. Two lines going into that corner, I need a third line coming across over there. Two lines going into that corner, I need a line going up over there. Fix that up over there. Right. I have a line which is going to come down over here. All right. There we go. A line coming down over here. And I need that line coming down over there. That's 30 millimeters. Right, I just need to fix this little lot. Okay, so over here, I've got two lines coming into that corner. I need a third line coming across to there, and a line going up over here. Right, there we go. You can see that little nick in there. There it is. I've got two lines going into that corner over there, and that's going to come all the way down. Okay, it should come all the way down to that line over there, but you'll see that that sort of links up over there. And I have a third line that is going to come across over here, all the way across. Note, it's a flat panel over there. There's not a line over there. There's not another line going across there. Right, and that is that drawing done.